Well, konnichiwa, everybody, and welcome to another Sunday night flight with Kazaki Flyer 66. Tell from the subject of tonight's title on our uh, stream description. We're gonna follow Godzilla ashore into Tokyo Bay and make a quick little trip around the little islands out here and into the bay. As you can see, and sticking with our Japanese theme, we're this right here, flying a Mitsubishi tonight, a Japanese aircraft. Painted up tonight in Japanese self defense aircraft colors. So we should blend right in. Now, I can't remember where I got this airport at, but it says it's custom built. It's not one of the add ons for the Japanese world module, but apparently I've picked it up somewhere. I guess I would assume that it's freeware. This is RJTH Airport on an island off the coast of Japan. You can see the weather's kind of nice for today, so we're at least lucky in that respect. We won't have to fight rain and fire and fog. Bad enough we got all these volcanic mountains around us. We're kind of in between two volcanoes here. Which should make our flight here a little bit more interesting, at least as far as that goes. Now, let's see if I can get myself resituated here, and then we'll try to get our engine started. And at least I didn't turn the battery on, so I don't have a dead battery. Although with this sim there, you never can tell. Get my feet up on the pedals. Let's get inside here. This, of course, is the Mitsubishi MU2, a very nice six-place VIP transport. The little town I grew up in, we had two of these in the hangar at the local airport. Little bitty tiny airstrip, and serviced two of these MU2s. The rich dude in town owned two of them. I'm using an old classic panel. I don't have the GPS installed. I actually prefer this old one than the one with the GPS on it. Let's see if we can look past the control yoke here and see what we need to do here. Well, first off, your battery isn't a switch like in most aircraft. The battery is the key here. Turn this key. That that energizes your system. And then your power converters are here. Inverter is on. Turn our fuel tanks on. Go ahead and turn the tip tanks on. Make sure we've got fuel. If you'd like us to, yep, make sure you want to be loaded. Turn that to our N1 because we can turn in an RDF or a DME on the way. At least find out how far we've got to go. Let's see. We want to pull this back to the start position. And move those up to start. Then all that's left is to push the left-hand button. It'll take it a couple of seconds here. There she goes. See, the engine is starting to turn up. And there she spins, folks. That's one side. Now let's get the other one going. Right engine clear. Ignition. Give it a minute. Watch these gauges start to climb. There's the fuel flowing. Exhaust temperature. Crank. Here comes our RPM. Great. Now we've got good starts. Okay, our lights are up here on the overhead. We need strobes, nav, beacon. We'll go ahead and activate our landing lights. I don't think we'll need our interior cabin lights. It's kind of bright today. So we might want to set our time at, let's see what live time looks like. It puts us in the dark. We're going to change this. Yeah, it says 9:06 a.m., which is good because our time locally changed last night. We lost an hour of sleep. Not that I noticed. You're always short of sleep. You never notice when 1 hour goes away. Check to our right. This is rather a sharpish turn in the taxiway here. Okay, release the brake. And goodness, when we start to move. Follow the yellow line. We got to go to the next yellow line. And I need to look around here for a second. See if we can see a windsock. Hold that thought. Where's our windsock? Nope, no windsocks. So let's check our map and call up a METAR here. That didn't work. Hold still. Okay. Closest METAR is RJTO. It's 030 at 9 knots. So we'll run one way 08 gear. That's to our left. We release our brake again. Since nobody's here and nothing to foul up my uh, FSUIPC, I'm going to go ahead and click on landing rate monitor. Okay, put that to bed. That's running in the background. That way, when I bump the ground too hard, it'll tell me so. Oh, there's what we needed. Windsock. All the way down at the end of the runway. Well, I wonder this time if the windsock will agree with the METAR. Well, sorta. It's at least blowing in the right general direction. Well, no, it's not. METAR is indicating the wind's coming into our face. Well, METAR is telling it's coming from behind us. Windsock's telling us it's coming into our face. And with this sim, you've got to pick your poison and place your bets. Now, I'm going with the METAR and not with the windsock. Okay, full power to the engines. I'm going to take one notch of flaps just in case I might be wrong. Well, she wants to jump right now. He wants to go. Let's, well, let's, as the man says, give her the spurs, Chuck. Okay, airspeed indicator is alive, 50 knots. 70, 80, 100. Okay, come on up. There we go. Up, up, keep coming up. Positive rate, gear up. Okay, flaps coming up. We're just going to fly around this island and gain altitude here. Looks like a kind of a relay up on the top of the mountain. Pull our throttles back in just a bit. This is a fast airplane. Doesn't need that much power. Trim her up. I want my shortcut, please. Now, this airplane does have an autopilot. It's down here. Just a simple autopilot. It's heading hold and altitude hold. I like it. It's easier for me to use the 750 GTN. On 4,500 feet. At 500 feet a minute. Back to our map. We didn't want to turn that way. We wanted to turn right. This is a pretty airplane. Here's the island we just took off from. Didn't take long to get this far away from the island. Keep bringing our heading bug around here to a westerly course. Eventually we'll come on to a northerly course and try to pick up our magenta line and what we're supposed to follow for a course here. We're holding at about 210 knots indicated, which is about as good as you can hope for, because considering we're still climbing. We'll have to pull the power back yet again when we get to 4,500 feet. There's our island. It looks like we're high enough to clear the island, at least some of the big points, the big mountains on this island. So as we get closer to it, we'll take a closer look at the island. These little sentinels out toward the away from Tokyo Bay, these are the first places the big old lizard would tend to come visit on his way to. During being attracted by radiation and electricity. All kind of things to look at on this island. Okay, we've just passed 3,500 feet. Closing in on 4,000 here. Still climbing at a nice 500 feet a minute. Such a graceful aircraft. And we want to come north and intersect our course line. And inadvertently, we're going to try to look at the island here. they've got they don't have the wind farm, but they've got one windmill. Not like they've got a lot of beaches here as a tourist attraction. I see lots of radio antennas and cell phone towers. So they've got some people here. As we go over it, we can see that, yep, those are radio antennas and microwave relays up here on the top of this mountain. She's still trying to climb here, so we need to tell her, knock that off. Just hold the altitude here. And after Two-Tone Murphy teaches us how to interact with an IFR flight plan, we can get on VATSIM and file a flight plan and then let them vector us around and tell us where to go and be safe so we don't hit other people. Not that there's anybody out here to hit. And there's the airport we just took off from. How about that? Been a while since this volcano erupted. It's all green inside. Okay, they didn't film the Firebird here. Now I think this next island was a definite good candidate for the film for the music for the Firebird. Okay, we're right at 200 knots. Put in a little bit of power. Let's get her up to about 210 here. Here's 210. $2.15. They say, hold what you got. Now, in such a quick airplane, it probably shouldn't take us too long to follow the flight plan here and go where we're wanting to go. The object is to finish up after some sightseeing at Tokyo Narita Airport. Inadvertently, this is also another the courses of another approach from the sea, from the air to the island of Japan. These islands would have been the first thing they saw as they came in off of the ocean. They would have provided a navigation fix that let them know where they're at. That they needed to turn north for Tokyo. A proper one in this sim. We'll be flying this all too many times again. What I'd like to see is I'd even take a B-26 Marauder. Could fly that. Well, I could fly this route in a Marauder. the B-25 we've got isn't suitable. It's a nice try, but it really comes up short. If they would have converted, there were actually some much better B-25s in FSX and FS9 that could have been converted, but their functionality lacked a few things. I'm just not a programmer. I couldn't fix it. Otherwise, I'd have took a deep dive into the gut muddling of those aircraft and tweaked them till I got it right. Okay. Well, we cruise to the next island here. Then he can call this up and push the button. And looks like I'm not paying attention because I'm trying to read something else on the other screen here. Oh, we're walking in Godzilla's footsteps and we think about this bit. Come on, you big lizard. We got something for you. Hopefully, we're high enough to avoid attracting his attention too much. We don't want to get the fire breathing thing. We wouldn't last long getting hit by that. Okay, we're 32 miles out from this island's airport. As you can see, the clouds are starting to build in. If they get into our way too much, we know what to do. We reach into our oleander's bag and pull out the box with our magic wands in it, and then we Wingardia Leviosa and send the clouds away. I want to listen to that. Nice, relaxing flight anyway. It's a continent away from the subject of the train, or the train, but I do tend to like the song. Something we need to do. Find it again. Around here somewhere. There it is. Just in case. Kind of a lumpy little island, isn't it? Just picks its stuff up out of the ocean. No gradual, no gradual rising here. It just straight up. If I recall my map, the airport's on the far side of this island. Or actually on the side here. There's a volcano right in the center. This is our first island. At least we got 17 miles to go. Bounce through our camera views. There's quite a few of these little islands off the coast of Japan proper. Poofy clouds to fly through. Yay. Another island without much beachfront property. But where there's land, there's going to be people. See all kinds of roads down there. I see a fishing village. Kind of see it through the fog. Here, there. Land a helo on it, but I don't think you could land much of anything else except maybe a Piper Cub on that, on the pier down there. A runway, it's not. Look at the cliff face. Oh my goodness. Good place to fish out of, though. Now this volcano, Looks like it might be a proper volcano. It green up the sides until a certain point, then it gets all ugly and says, "No, I'm not safe here." Come this far and no further. This island also does have an airport on it. This is RJTQ, Romeo Juliet Tango, Quebec. I'm going to try to fly right over the volcano here, and we'll take a quick left turn and go to the next island airport. There is a VOR here, it's just not tuned to it. Because the airport, there you can see the airport off to the side there. On the right, it's an airport associated with a pretty good sized little town. Great fishing village. Got a nice little marina there and a breakwater. Well, if this is where you've got any geological survey instruments, this would be the place to plant them. Okay, now we want to come to the left. We're going to head to our next island. There it is over there. You can see they're pretty, all these islands are fairly close together. They're all linked by little airfields for aircraft pretty much like this MU-2, make little hops between. There's another good harbor. The closer we get to the big island of Honshu, the more improved all these little islands are going to be. And the more crowded. And there you go. I think after all this time I'd learned where my cameras are. Okay, this next island contains the airport of bum, 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 Kozushima, RJAAI, Romeo Juliet Alpha Z. All these little islands have little bitty strips on them just to cater to traffic like the MU-2 here. Just because we're not landing on them doesn't mean we can't. You know, we could if something broke on the airplane, we could put her down real quick. We're going to try to make it to Narita. We're doing 220 and it still seems like we're just crawling. onshore breeze pushing, coming in from the island, from the mainland. There's the bigger island. The airport here is all the way down at the end of the island, the southern end of the island. You know, I think it's the only place they could find that was flat enough to put an airfield. This also is one of those airports to give pilots nightmares. It's the approach here, and you're either eating rocks or you're going to swimming. I didn't. I didn't bring any shark repellent or sandwiches to feed the sharks instead of me. There's the airport. Like a pretty good taxiway from the port facilities. Taxi ride, I should say. We can speak English here. Go ahead and start our turn. Gonna make a little kind of radical turn here. Looks like somebody's carved the top off that mountain. And as industrious as these people are, wouldn't surprise me if they had. We want to take the top off, but we're not going to make it flat enough to put an airport on. Next airport on the tour here of Little Islands is RJAN. Romeo Juliet Alpha November. Another airport in the between two volcanic areas in the flat spot. Yay, button pushing. We live for it. There's RJAN down there. Told you the urbanization of these islands gets denser and denser the closer we get to Honshu, the big island here in Japan. the volcanoes also seem to be getting bigger. And through the haze, way off in the distance over there, up here where my mouse is pointing, that's Mount Fuji, which we're not actually going to be getting that close to today. It's not necessarily on our tour guide thing. Okay, course change. Next island. Which is Oshima RJTO. Romeo Juliet Tango Oscar. After that, next stop or visit or place we're going, our next waypoint is Yokohama. Oops, hang up. Pause for the servers to refresh. And unpause. Yay! At least it doesn't just totally pack in and crash like it used to. Leave you hanging and waiting for a minute or two. Usually it does that on landing. Hopefully it won't do that to us today. But it, you can at least see the main island of Honshu now. Mount Fuji keeps getting bigger in our window. We can't see it for their window post in the airplane. Hey, Viper Strike, good evening. Welcome to the outlying islands of Tokyo Bay. We're going to follow the big lizard as he chases from one island to the next and into Yokohama and then into Tokyo Bay itself. I was surprised at how beautiful these little islands are here. Absolutely gorgeous places to they're places. If I was a big old lizard, I'd want to stomp all over them. And as usual, the bit rate has gone into the cellar. There's this island's little airport. Oh, let's do it. Let's touch and go here. Let's turn off the autopilot. Pull the power back quite a bit. And down we go. Get my feet up on the pedals here. If we can get low enough without crashing, we're going to take a look and see if we can find a windsock and see which way the wind's blowing. We are coming down fast here. This airplane will do that. Reach over here and extend the gear. There it starts to come out. Just going to do a touch and go here. We don't intend to land. Don't want to get too much lower here. A little bit of right rudder, get us lined up a little bit better. Keep backing out of the throttles a little bit at a time. Don't want to stall though. Ooh, this airport's even lit. How about that? You could probably get a 320 in here. Slow it down a little bit. Power back in. Up we come. There we go. Back up in the air. Pull the gear back in. Up we go. On to Yokohama, folks. Grief, I can see Tokyo Haneda from here. That's normal. That's not normal. Feet should be high enough. Get back on course. Okay, now we're 35 miles to Yokohama. Push more buttons over here on the music list. Once we quit live streaming, we can hear the music anyway. get straightened out here. Okay, where we just did our touch and go was, yeah, Romeo, Juliet, Tango, Oscar. Well, not exactly in the films, but more along the closer to the lines of Godzilla 2000 than to any of the more recent films. He doesn't re- he doesn't really have a set path, and they never really do post the signs up to say, "Hey, Godzilla slept here." So it's pretty much the latest stuff I've seen has been showing like Godzilla at the uh, hanging around at Fukushima plant because, well, it's a big source of radiation, and he's always attracted to that. But one thing is that they do agree on is that he approaches Tokyo from the sea. So that's what we're doing today. Now, considering all the famous sites they do have in Tokyo for Godzilla, I'm surprised they don't have little signposts all over the countryside saying Godzilla rampaged through here. They could sell a lot of tickets to Americans who would go just to see that. Look at the stuff we look at the film guides we buy in Hollywood. I figured we're approaching Honshu. Pretty good place to fly the Mitsubishi. This is about as close to her as we're going to get. Everybody wave to Mount Fuji. She does dominate a skyline, that's for sure. Now let's see if I can work this right. Now these are the kinds of things that the big boy is known for. Do like to scare the kiddies. Hey, that actually worked. I'm impressed. I didn't find a way to mess that up. I was pretty sure I would. Now here we are approaching landfall here at Yokohama. Yokohama, Osaka, and those are some of the other cities here in the greater Tokyo area. winds are pushing me around a bit. Now they're changing to, instead of offshore winds, they're onshore winds. I haven't pored over the maps to see where all the power plants are. I can see a smokestack for a factory there. But I know that we will be flying over on by the bay. We'll be flying over several uh, power plants and larger factory facilities. All too often, those are the kinds of things that the big guy really takes it out on. There's Yokohama Airport ahead of us, also known properly as, what is this? Uh, Atsugi. Atsugi Aerodrome. Romeo Juliet Tango Alpha. There's Tokyo Bay. Pretty big thing to cross. Start our turn. Middle marker. Excuse me, I'm not landing here. Urban sprawl. If you're not ready to deal with it, don't come visit Japan. This isn't even Tokyo. This is Yokohama and Osaka. I do know that in one of the later films, Yokohama is known for having attracted the attention of the big guy. He did pay a call on Yokohama. He'd already visited Tokyo pretty thoroughly. There's something else Yokohama is famous for: baseball. The Viper Strike will tell you all about that. I think their local team here is the Yokohama Knights. Viper Strike, that's why we count on you, man. You're the man with the knowledge. Make the rest of us look like shoeboxes. There's a big Ferris wheel and a roller coaster down there. The architecture in this city is world famous. I've seen that in a Godzilla movie, so I know that he's tramped through here. Oh, and we'll scoot across Tokyo Bay. We'll take a look at Romeo Juliet Tango Kilo, and then we'll head on up towards our stop. Oops, looks like the U.S. Navy's in town. Hopefully on a goodwill and come visit us tour. I told you there were plants and factories that Godzilla would like to stomp around here. There they are. Yeah, I remember that. I've watched that movie several times. It's great. See if we can see the lights for Haneda. Look at the map. Get oriented. Okay, it should be due north of us. And Haneda should be up that way, the other side of that pyramid. There's Haneda right there. Back inside here, push the right buttons. Another 30 miles to Narita. We're going to pass over lots of the factories and things Godzilla likes to stomp on because they blow up so well. There's her Haneda across the bay and Tokyo proper. At least that's the downtown area. This is all greater Tokyo. Now that's Godzilla bait. Get the camera view here. Underground natural gas storage sites. You're going to put that in the way of a fire-breathing monster? Okay. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. let's. I think we might as well tune in and see if we can shoot an ILS here. We can try anyway. What's METAR say for Narita? Narita's METAR is showing a 340 at 6 knots, which means runway 34. 34 left, 34 right. Let's see if we can see where the 34 left looks like it's going to be easier for general aviation parking. Now I need that frequency, which I didn't get. 111.9. Okay, that's entered. One 0.9. All right. Come on, stay out there. Now, we've been going about an hour and a half, which we'll keep it short tonight. It is the first night after a time change here in the United States. We're going to let everybody get to bed and try to get that hour of sleep back that they lost last night. And the sooner I let you guys go and get some sleep, hopefully the faster it will be that you get to sleep. Me, I'm going to be awake a while. Okay, pull some power back. Okay, I can see the track on the 750 here. We want to turn out. Drop that airspeed some more. Not too much. Out there will do. 170 knots or so. Swing out a little bit farther out here. Hey, we want to watch our HSI down here. We're going to try for an ILS. We may end up going visual. Okay, we're right at 150 knots here. Starting to pick up the airport a little bit. There it is up there, right off our left wing tip. And get into the right view here. Okay, now we're under the glide slope. We need to go out and come back in. Basically turning exactly away from the airport. We'll make a turn and come back in. Basically over the ocean there, we'll come back. At least that's the plan. Me and plans don't go together too well. Now our aircraft is below the glide slope. That's good. That means it should be easier for us to intercept it when we come around. Technically, we can make our turn at any time now. We're below the glide slope and far enough out. Let's turn to the left here. Turn rather sharpish. Pull back the power just a little bit more. And we'll go ahead and extend our gear now while we can. There it comes out. Gear down and lock. Yep, 3 green. Don't let her slow too much. Or let her hold it right at 120 or so. Start our turn to the port final here. Let's watch that HSI. When it starts to move, we click approach. Watching our speed here. Trying to keep 120. Winds are bouncing us around pretty good. Still watching our HSI here. It hasn't moved yet. Okay, localizer and glide slope. Bring our power back a bit. Give it one notch of flap. There's the HSI moving. We should straighten us out here in a second. There we go. Okay, 120 knots. 110. Outer marker. Keep our airspeed up. Boy, it's bouncing. We've got enough airspeed in hand. We'll try to hold that till almost right over the threshold. Okay, we're just going to have to go manual. That's trying to land us out in the grass. Well, any landing's a good one. Hit hard. Oh, he'll take it. Not on the center line, but I'll take that too. It's windy. Wonder what LRM gave us. Take a look here and see. 304. Yeah, that was a bit firm. And welcome to Tokyo Narita. This is Tokyo's other big international airport, in addition to Haneda. And if you're flying to Tokyo, you can choose either one of these two fine airports to fly to. I'm going to try to taxi back down to General Aviation Parking, which is at the other end of the airport. We passed it, but there's a nice big taxiway that we can take. We just got to keep an eye out for the visual landmarks here. I do need to get, I'm going to have to save up for it, but there's a nice payware scenery for this airport. Orbix has it. we've got quite a ways to go. Slow down. Them turbines really want to go. We're going to spend more time taxiing around than we did flying here. Pay attention to the sign. Yep. Whiskey 12 is the taxiway we want here. She's getting it on that taxi, boy. Okay, here's our turn up here, where the little green dot split up. Yeah, little green lights. Smurfs exposed to gamma radiation. Basically, just pick an FBO down here, and that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Who looks nice enough to stop at? I don't know. Those little buildings over there look pretty nice. We'll go park in front of the more of the longer established buildings. They don't look like they were built last week. Hey, all stop. Brakes. Okay, set. All right, here we are at Tokyo Narita and parked. While we didn't exactly stomp on anything, we at least followed where he might have gone if he were coming ashore in the latest movie, which I have yet to see. I'd like to see -1. I think that I'm hoping it comes to one of the streaming services I have. I can't get out too much. I'm going to have to wait till it comes to me. But I really like the paint job that I picked up from this MU2. Looks really nice. I thought it was fitting for tonight's flight. And we're glad you came along with us. Spent your Sunday evening with us. And if you missed anything, well, you can catch this on our YouTube channel. And we hope you've enjoyed the little trip tonight. And we hope that we haven't been too boring. And let's see if we can find somebody to raid here. The usual suspects. Uh-oh, JW is on. How about that? Hey, JW. So, folks, thank you for coming.